Right. So you're strapping on the boot, and it's gotta match your area where the original boot was. This is what makes, again, like I was just saying, this is what makes Connecticut an epicenter on the planet. I've been to basically all of the states here in Northern America. Been to quite a few other countries also, and no, this is the only thing of its kind, like Connecticut. You got other, you'll have other simulations of like major cities. Like you can, in other countries, they have Manhattans. They have Manhattans, they have Chicagos, they have LAs. All of your major cities here, they have them in the other countries too. They're not called that, but you can see from the setup, and I'm talking about 2020 and up type of world. You know, when I was traveling heavier in like the early to mid 2000s, and they were under construction in a lot of these places, turning the rest of the world into America, into Northern America. They were in the process of doing that. So you would see like, okay, this is what the native land looks like, but why did they build a downtown right there? I don't look like they need a downtown. Look like they was good with the village. The villages were immaculate. You know what I mean? But here comes a downtown area there. So now, call it gentrification. I just wanted to stay away from the G word, just in case anybody had a negative connotation to this and may believe and have documentation to say, no, we're making these places better by making them more city-like. So I'm not here to get in the way of that, because again, their reason for turning some of these places into cities may be considering other factors like energy saving, using the resources a certain way, right? So we're not saying that one civilization can't improve upon another with their particular invention to it, but just understand that in this world of the reboot, if you're not careful, you'll just be trying to make a carbon copy of something else. Man, let's do it like before. You know what I mean? They tried to ask the artist Eminem. They tried to ask him when he had finished doing his revival album. They were saying, when are you gonna go back to the original Slim Shady with the jokes and the humor and the fun? Why are you so sharp? Why you been sharp these last 8 or 9 albums? Why? What's all this bite about? And he was like, I can't go back to that. I don't even know how to be that person. I don't even take those substances. I don't even live that kind of life no more. Is basically what Marshall was saying, and I have to say his name in that instance, because when you're deciding to do something better for your life, I'm not gonna call you by your stage name. You know what I mean? They wanted Eminem to be Slim Shady, but Marshall was like, nah, I'm not at that stage in my life. You get it? But the pressure for the reboot, it affects all. And Eminem was no exception. No one else is either. I mean, the main overtone really was the movies. They're the most, they're the guiltiest culprit of this whole reboot thing. This is really coming from the movies. And the movies know that. It's not like the onset of the reboots caused the strike. Let's stop it. It was deeper than that. Because it's like we put on so many boots already. We're already coming in underwater, is what a lot of the actors and actresses said. We ain't making no money here. We got too many boots. When we first came out, that check was lovely. Or when we first came out, y'all don't know, we ain't get paid at all. We ain't even have no boots. They just let us walk around barefoot for the first 10 movies. And so there's, got to strike. It would be one thing if the actors were like, we're tired, we can't do this. It'd be one thing if this was just the problem of the actors and actresses. But you got screenwriters and directors saying the same thing. Now we don't have a movie industry. Go ahead, just look at what's coming out. It's getting so bad now. I mean, ideas are being shut out as soon as they come out. The reboot disease it's so advanced now in its stages. This is like, you know what I mean? If the reboot thing were called a cancer, this would be like stage 20. The body ain't even allowed to drop. The spirit is just trapped in this mechanism of compounding cancers. Reboot this, reboot that, reboot this. I mean, you even had public spats that they had to try to color to make it like this is the documentary to the Matrix 4. This was behind the scenes. That ain't behind the scenes. That's the footage that y'all called it how y'all really feel about all of this. This is why y'all couldn't get anybody to come back. Right? And you try to style a bunch of advanced commentary on top of it and being like, see what we tried to tell y'all? This was a reboot parody about a reboot parody about a reboot parody. We get the joke. We get the joke. I did the parody myself. You think I'm not being hypocritical? Look on my page right now and tell me how many Style Wars are out. I got all the way up to like Style Wars part 15, 14, 15. I got like 8 or 9 Women in Red playlist. There's another reason for that I could use as a cop-out. I'm going to use it, but not before pointing out the hypocritical first glance that you would see if you look on my page, considering this whole reboot argument. Yeah, well, you are Mr. Reboot. You the one with all of you got part 11 this, part 12 that. I got over 4,400 videos on this channel. How many different titles am I going to realistically try to create? Nah. I got a reason. I could come out with part 20. I'm dropping 4, 5, 6 playlists a season. Yeah, they got playlist and EP length, a lot of them. But come on. You dropping 5 or 6 projects that all got at least 8 or 9 songs on them. Yeah, you could do a part 1, part 2, part 3 and all of that. Because people know what I sound like already. They know this boot. And I'm not trying to put a whole bunch of different boots on. These aren't reboots. I'm taking it where I left off. But they're not reboots. It might be, Star Wars might get all the way to 25. But you can hear in the music and in the message that it's not me trying to recreate Star Wars 1. Because if that were the case, nothing would be better than the first of any list. And look, there's a big difference between Star Wars 1 and Star Wars 12, and the views and the comments back that up also. My sequels are better than my previous, which means I'm not a part of the reboot effect. It's hard to do a reboot when the original was a classic. It's hard. Good luck on that do or die, Mr. Sosa. But if you're not, I'm going to tell you now though, if you're not using Premiere in them, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. We like the Magic trilogy with Hit Boy, and we like the King Disease trilogy with Hit Boy, but Hit Boy ain't Premier. He not Pete Rock. He's nice. He's one of the only authenticated new school, old schoolist. So I give him his, but I'm not gonna put him above Derringer. I'm not gonna put him above Uncle Al. And he nice. It's perfect. But at a half step slower in terms of tempo and a different sound, Nas is a very agreeable MC. He'll give you a shot. That's what makes Nas so great. You heard it. Nas ain't really too picky about what kind of beat he rhyme on. He knows that he's a writer. You know what I mean? He knows that he's a real poet. So, we used to criticize Nas. Like, man, why you rhyme on that, man? You got all of this and this and this. Nas is just like, look, man, I'm gonna rhyme on whatever I got, because I got rhymes. So, he got a right to. You know what I mean? He could drop as many lost tapes as he want. We're gonna be checking for him. Yes, we are. But again, the sound is part of the reboot. And not everybody is falling for this reboot. You understand? I mean, and using Nas for example, look at his stature and look at the non-reboot nature of his career. And for the record, Illmatic was not Stillmatic Part 2. Stillmatic was him saying that I'm not gonna make another Illmatic. That's why he opened up the album that way. You thought I'd make another Illmatic, but it's always forward and I'm moving, never backwards, stupid. Here's another classic. Yeah, we can't say folks ain't trying to tell us. They was crying out telling us, yo, the reboot is coming. Because remember, they in the entertainment industry. They know what's happening like roughly 20 years, 15, 20 years in advance. Much more when we're talking about like the sciences and all of that and occultism. I'm not talking about that. Just talking about what's slated to play in terms of like movies and music. That's what I mean. They kind of know like 15, 20 years in advance, like, man, y'all gonna make a house party part 35? Come, who y'all gonna get? The actors that y'all need for this ain't born yet. Yeah, but they still gonna do it though. Because they still looking for Kid and Play. You ain't gonna be able to reboot no doggone Kid and Plays. I don't even care how many NBA stars come out with wearing a box either. Ain't gonna get no more Kid and Plays. I don't care how many light-skinned brothers you stand next to a dark-skinned brother and force them to rhyme. You ain't gonna get no more Kid and Play. Stop. Y'all did the whole, what they call mumble rap. Y'all did that whole era wrong. Y'all did that whole era wrong. Whoever the y'all is, whoever the they is, they did them wrong. They did them wrong. We all know what See You at the Crossroads was. We all know what First of the Month was. That's the flow. That's the flow that you hear right now in every single trap song. And no matter what hood, all of this stuff is Bone Thugs and Harmony. Trust me. And the ones that sound more like Bone Thugs is the ones that's succeeding. Look at Playboy Cardi. Like if you're out there singing this stuff and you using that, because Bone Thugs was the they were the best reboot of Freestyle Fellowship. And Freestyle Fellowship was like some of the earliest of the hibbity bibbities that was spitting those triplet flows. They weren't the first, don't get me wrong. There was Das Effects, X-Clans, there was Foosh Nickens, don't get me wrong. There was tons. But Bone Thugs is pretty much what you remember. So what you see is whoever's closest to that kind of flow, i.e. Migos, when they first came out, rest in peace to Take. Rest in peace to Take Off. But when they first came out, you know, there was melody with it. It wasn't like quite sing-songy, but you could, you know what I mean? It felt, you could feel the essence of Crazy Bone and Lazy Bone on some, you know, Mo Murder. You could feel that to this very moment in all the trap music. Or, you know, whoever else, you know what I mean? You can hear where that triplet flow worked, and you can hear where it's an obvious reboot effect. And now the reboot is at its absolute most expansive, because now you have regular citizens like you and I doing our own reboots. There's actually nowhere to go from there. This is why social media is what it is, because they're like, look, we don't have an entertainment industry no more. So we're going to be looking to you guys. Super T Sigma Programming. Now you get it.